Welcome to TMZ Live. Charles here.
Alex Michelson filling in for Harvey here from Fox 11 Los Angeles.
Indeed. Thanks for being here again. And the Diddy trial.
On TMZ Live, host Charles with guest Alex Michelson unpacked the explosive new revelations in the Diddy trial. With Jane, the star witness, on the stand exposing desperate text messages and secret relationships, the case is heating up. Diddy was scrambling just days after a $20 million lawsuit. What was he hiding behind closed doors? Let's break this down.
Taking a turn now because Jane is still on this witness stand. Jane is the ex-girlfriend testifying under that pseudonym, but she is talking about a moment where it certainly sounds like Diddy was absolutely desperate and sort of circling the wagons. This was just a couple of days after Cassie had filed her lawsuit, and we know that the very next day he reached a settlement with her for $20 million. But after that lawsuit was filed, it seems clear now from what you're about to hear that he was worried about the other women in his life and what they might be saying to law enforcement. So this was a phone call. This came up in court. This is the transcript of a conversation between Diddy and Jane 3 days.
This plea reveals Diddy's urgent panic post-lawsuit, a man trying to suppress witnesses and control narratives rather than face accountability.
Days after Cassie filed her lawsuit. And just listen to the tone of what he was saying. He says, talking to Jane, hey, I really need your friendship right now. And that's it. I can't even talk on the phone. Like, please, don't send no texts or do nothing. People misread it and blank. I don't know what the blank. And he added, my love is definitely true. You know what I'm saying? We just into some kinky blank that I thought we both, enjoy. And Jane only responds with a mm-hmm. And the reason she's so hesitant, she's read the entire lawsuit and is definitely feeling some sort of way about this, knowing she's been in a relationship with him this whole time as well. And this is what she eventually says to him. I've been crying for like 3 days. I can't even sleep. Like, just reading all that, it's just so like word for word. Like, word for word is crazy to me. Like, it just feels sick in my soul, So he's concerned that she's going to talk to talk to a lawyer,
right,
or even worse, law enforcement. And she is just like, now she's seeing this other side of the mirror. Like, she knew about Cassie, obviously,
right,
but didn't realize what had happened.
Was a pattern and...
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't realize the violence that was going on, that had gone on in that relationship. So for her, this was really shocking. Remember, she had been through a violent incident with him where he was chasing her, and she testified about him kicking in a door and chasing her. So for Jane, this was clearly a moment where she was going, what are we doing? And she testified they went on a break after that.
And interesting, his first instinct is basically like, don't say anything.
Right. Everyone's got to be quiet.
And so this whole time, Jane has been testifying that she kind of felt like the secret, that he wanted to hide her and just have these hotel nights with her and didn't get the same treatment that these other more public girlfriends were getting. But she said today that, after the Cassie lawsuit, he started acting way more loving, way more affectionate, and that their relationship actually began to grow. So I think it's just super obvious here what Diddy was trying to do and kind of laid the groundwork for, oh no, I'm in this healthy, committed relationship and like we're good, right?
Yet they did go on a bit of a break, right? From December until her birthday in February of 24.
And then they reconciled in February, yeah, correct.
So she is still on the stand today, Janet, and still under cross-examination. What's the latest that she's been testifying about?
So today she testified, they started with an event that happened in January of 2024. And actually this morning, the prosecutors, the defense, and Jane's attorney were in the robing room for over an hour before court even began. And they were arguing about whether or not the people involved in this January 2024 Vegas trip should be named publicly or not. And this involves Jane's previous testimony about an unnamed rapper and his partner, and that she went to Vegas with this group of people, including the rapper, and that she walked into the hotel room and one of the escorts that her Diddy had used previously was there having sex with a woman, and everyone was watching. So Jane testified about that and said that this is an icon in the music industry, someone that was close with Diddy. But yeah, there's a lot of back and forth today about whether or not those people should be named publicly.
Right, and as of this point, they've said they're not going to name them, but certainly you have her on the stand saying there's an icon in the music industry.
Do we have any guesses?
Well, we're not going to do that. we're not going to do that because we don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But Diddy's lawyers on cross-examination have really shown that at times Jane was very much into this.
Right.
And now you have her testifying today that there were other people in the music industry that either knew or picked up on this vibe. So is she damaging to the prosecution's case here? Because if she's in it willingly,
And is it coercion if she's a part of it? And
The murky dynamics of consent and coercion are spotlighted, raising critical questions about who is victim and who is complicit within the alleged trafficking ring.
And we talked about earlier this week that she sort of incentivized him. If you want to be back with me, I can give you more freak off sort of thing.
I just wonder how this is all playing for the prosecution and playing, most importantly, for the jury. Joining us now to discuss this, someone who's been following the trial just as closely as we have, Teray, you know, the music journalist, and also has his Substack Culture Fries, and he is joining us right now. Teray, welcome back, man.
Thanks.
What do you make of Jane this week? She has been the star witness, had been a witness. She was called as a witness for the prosecution, but I'm wondering how the prosecutors are feeling.
Several aspects of the Jane story right now are very interesting to me. She does, or let's say Tenny Garagos, give her credit, does seem to elicit Jane numerous times saying she liked it or she accepted it or she was okay with it. There was a story about a very gracious birthday party, a very generous birthday party for her. And she said, after that, I felt like doing it for him to give him something in return. Now, she has already noted that she knew what her responsibilities were within the relationship. And as we've noted in this segment already, the government is hot on the notion that Diddy was feeding her and others messages, knowing that he would be in this situation later. So the love bombing that happens after the Cassie lawsuit drops should perhaps be reconsidered as like that. They didn't actually enter into a healthy relationship. He was just performing that in hopes that later it would be believed that they were in one. But she does say that we were in the lifestyle, that others may have even thought that we were in the lifestyle. And that is something the defense and perhaps the jury can cling to as saying, wait a minute, how can we say it's coercion when you're like, hey, we're swingers, we're in the lifestyle?
Yeah.
Right, and it wasn't exactly a secret that Diddy was into some maybe freaky stuff. Even for the general public, that wasn't exactly a total secret.
It was one of those, things that people sort of buzzed about, but now we're hearing all the details in this case.
But the buzzing today, Charles, is who is that other rapper, right? And as far as a legal matter, it doesn't matter. But in the internet streets, we want to know who is that other rapper, who is married, who is an icon, who would have a wife, who would be willing to do this sort of stuff. I don't know. I think it's somebody who's been on your show.
I think that there are internet sleuths who are
I get what he's
figuring all this out, and I'm sure you can find them online with their guesses that we are not mentioning here.
You said when Diddy is calling her and saying, "Hey, we were into some kinky," right? He's telling her what to think. So he understands. We should understand he has a guilty conscience in that he knows he has done something wrong.
Diddy's cryptic defense betrays an awareness of wrongdoing, a key admission that could turn jury opinion on guilt beyond reasonable doubt.
And he is telling her, right, we were just walking out of the bank together. We didn't take any money, right? Right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't hear that.
Yeah.
So bottom line, it's clear that Diddy may not be the greatest person of all time, but the big question at the end of the day for the jury is, did he commit the crimes that they're alleging?
Did he sex traffic her?
What do you think so far, based off of what you've seen?
I mean, Harvey and I have argued about this a little bit on this show. I see the government's case absolutely. I see that there are employees of Diddy's who are helping him facilitate and conceal the sex trafficking of Cassie. And Jane, even if you waffle on whether or not she was sex trafficked, it just shows that there was a machine that they could feed another person into and go right back to doing the same thing. Cassie is controlled and coerced in multiple different ways, from I'm going to release the tape to your album will never come out. I control your housing. I am violent towards you. I am love bombing you. Like all these different ways of controlling her. So, it's clear to me that you cannot use your employees in your legitimate business to facilitate and conceal crimes in your other side business that you're doing.
Well, to that point, Teray, we should say that transcript that I was reading earlier, that was a recorded conversation, and the person who recorded the conversation between Diddy and Jane was Christina Kuram, his chief of staff. So,
but that's
there you go. I mean, that's to your point.
That's the other thing we're talking about today, that Matthew Lead from Inner City Press, who does fantastic work, pointed out. He does not think, as a veteran court watcher, that the government has enough time to do Christina Kuram. So that he now does not think that Christina will be called to the stand. I don't understand that. I think they need her. I think that she should be called to the stand. I don't understand how she would not be called to the stand.
You would make time for someone who was that close.
Unless the prosecution feels like they don't want the defense to have a shot at her. But if the prosecution doesn't want her and they called her a co-conspirator, the defense has got to call her.
Right.
I mean, right? Like if you guys don't want her, she's got to be able to tell a story for you. She should be on the stand at some point, because I mean, like, this is the core to understanding whether or not this was an enterprise, a criminal enterprise or not.
Right. Yeah. And that's the RICO charge. Well, Teray, thanks for being here, man. We're going to be checking back in with you, I'm sure. Everyone can catch Teray's work on his Substack, Culture Fries. Appreciate you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Later, guys.
One other thing that's happened in court, there is a juror that may be excused from the case. There is an alternate that would go in his place, but the defense is very upset about this. The reason that he may be kicked out, reportedly, he's been sort of snickering at times during testimony, and the judge is obviously not down with that. But if he does get removed, and that should be addressed later today, he is a black male. I think he's black and Hispanic, and the defense obviously wants to keep that person on the jury because they think that he's gonna, be favorable to their side.
And they may have a sense of what he's thinking based off of the fact that he's snickering.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Depending on what he's snickering, they may know.
That's the whole point. Both sides might know where he's at.
We will see how that turns out.
The Diddy trial has laid bare a tangled web of control, coercion, and desperation, highlighted by secret recordings and court drama. Jane's torn loyalties and Diddy's frantic attempts to herd silence illustrate the high stakes at play. With a jury watching closely, the prosecution's strategy hinges on exposing this sinister enterprise. Drop your take below. Is this the fall of a superstar or a twisted game of survival?